Okay.
Here at their end.
Is everybody ready? All right. I would like to welcome everyone to the third quarter Sister City Advisory Board meeting for the City of Delaware. Glad to have everybody here, including Tom Loper out there. And so Elaine, would you like to take roll call, please?
I would love to. Mr. Albin, Ms. Horvath, Ms. Means,
Present.
Ms. Rush,
Present.
Ms. Sally Greider,
Present.
Mayor Riggle,
Here.
Chairman Giebert.
Here. So we have a quorum. That's good for July. So good for us. And the second item on the agenda is election of officers.
We should probably excuse those that didn't make it tonight.
Oh, yes, please.
I'll make
Let's.
a motion to excuse Julie Horvath
And Daryl Alden.
Daryl Colvin.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Means, confirm. Ms. Rush,
Confirm.
Ms. Sally Greider,
Confirm. Mayor
Mayor Riggle,
Yes.
Chairman Giebert.
Yes. All right, thank you. On election of officers, I should just say that I'm no longer working at the Board of Election. So, which is, in some ways, I have more free time now.
Good. I think I
Congratulations.
nominated you for chairperson.
So, does anybody want to just have a little discussion about the election of officers? Do you have any suggestions or?
How does it work? I haven't been through it. Have we been through an election of officers?
Not really for a long time.
Okay.
Not for a long
We'll
time.
make a nomination, we'll second it, and then we'll see if there's any other nominations, and we'll take a vote.
Rand, do you want to continue in that position?
Well, actually, now that I'm not working, it's more. It seems more plausible to me that I can do more, be more involved.
So that means yes.
Yes. Yes.
Should we wait until we have a full board, though? That's what I was thinking. If we're missing two, I mean,
Because I like nominating people who aren't here.
I know, which is so wrong. It's up to you guys.
I don't really mind to just continue on, and we can do this next at our next meeting. So.
Who is our vice chair?
We don't have one,
Oh.
because it was Mr. Kopp.
Oh.
You know, we don't meet quarterly, so I would say, since we have 5 here, maybe, go ahead. I believe Julie indicated she didn't want to be chair or vice chair, Ms. Horvath, earlier. So,
As I would like to actually also, we'll see. It's a good opportunity to put a little bit more weight in. So, and with the Germans, you know, of the city and the German roundtable being part of the city as well. I think it's a good opportunity to put a little bit more weight in.
I don't know how much time Daryl has to devote to this, but I talked to Daryl. I had lunch with Daryl a couple of months ago, and he's quite interested in all of this. But I just don't know how much time people have. That's really the thing. I mean, Ohio Wesleyan has always, as we've talked about on almost at every meeting, played an important role in our the evolution of our sister cities. So the fact that Ohio Wesleyan would be involved in this, it makes a lot of sense. And I think that even today, Jay Martin's played a big role in like our visit to Baumholder and hosting the inbounds and so forth. I mean, Ohio Wesleyan is a very logical part of our group. So, and their input is very helpful. So being able to sort of mobilize and to keep that going probably makes a lot of sense.
But that means we would have to really wait for the next meeting.
Unless we, sure, we can wait, and I can talk to Daryl in the meantime. Would that be a
I
useful?
don't care. If you guys want to vote tonight, we can. I'm just,
I don't think either one of them are going to want a position. But we should just go ahead and move forward. That's my 2 cents.
I would like to have a vice chairman for the group. I mean, we could perhaps, I could talk to Daryl about that. I don't know if Julie is interested.
She's not.
She's not.
We could draw straws between you three.
But I would rather also like to wait.
Would you
But
rather
then,
wait?
Yeah, no, it really makes sense also with the hire with Lane, what you mentioned, I mean, since they're so involved,
Okay.
it really makes sense.
When's our
to-
next meeting?
October.
October 9th.
Also, I almost think, yeah.
Well, I will meet up with Daryl sometime in the next month or two and see what he's interested in doing.
Because they'll want to vote too, right? They'll want to vote, have their input on it.
All right. So we'll just defer this to the next meeting. So we'll defer election of officers for till our October meeting.
Sounds great.
All right. We'll move on to item 3 then, the minutes of our last meeting in April. Are there any changes to the minutes? I was glad, although I try to keep to the timetable, I was really glad to hear from all the students the last time. I thought that was really, really nice thing to be able to do. So, shall we call the roll for the?
Do we have a?
A motion to approve the minutes as recorded and transcribed.
I second.
Excellent.
Ms. Haynes,
Yes?
Ms. Rush,
Yes.
Ms. Sally Brider, Mayor Riggle,
Yes.
Chairman Bieber.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. If we move on to public comments. Okay, Tom, we'll let you off. Okay, keep moving here to update on Baumholder visit. So maybe Carolyn or Elaine, would you like to?
We booked the flights.
It's official.
We're leaving September 12th. And the event will, the opening of the museum will happen on the 14th.
Yeah, I bought my ticket today too. So I'm going to travel over on the same flight with you. So we'll arrive together at some point there. So that'll be easy for them. So do we know what's happening there exactly?
Well, I spoke with Michael over in Baumholder, not through email, and he thought maybe this would be another good time to set up a Skype meeting. I wanted to reach out in general. I guess the update on the Baumholder visit has 2 parts. We are leaving to go there, and they're going to be there for, like Carolyn, Mayor Riggle said, September 12th. The event is on the 14th, so they have a few days of events planned, show Baumholder around. And then basically when they come back, we have a week to prepare for them to come here. They'll be coming from September 29th to October 6th. So I need to, I asked Michael if he had a list of who was coming. What we had left at before was some of the people who had come before had stayed with certain host families, and Dr. Martin was going to see if we could arrange for convenience and for friendships and stuff to be able to stay at the same homes, but I don't know who's coming yet. So I thought it would be good to arrange another time with Dr. Martin, if you could be there. Anybody from Sister City that wants to be there, because we have a lot of planning to do.
Do we know how many people are coming?
Originally, at our last Skype call, which was maybe about 5 weeks ago, it seems like a while, there was 7 couples they were looking at. So
7 couples.
So that I wanted to confirm, because we are asked to find homes for these individuals to stay at. So it
did.
Who's going to Baumholder from here?
Councilwoman Lisa Keller, Mayor Riggle, and also Rand. We had a veteran that was interested in going, and his health has declined, so we are hoping to get him to be part of the picture. I've been reached out by, 3 veterans, and they want to be in the picture. They're reaching out to see if they have any other past comrades. There's not, they're just trying to reach out to people they may know in the Delaware County area that might have been stationed there too. So that was something, if you wanted just people that were specifically veterans at Baumholder, or were you looking for maybe just veterans in general? If you wanted more
Husband,
people.
yeah.
Brian was.
My husband also, yeah.
Did we set a time on the 31st?
The photographer is Brian Mullenkamp from Blue Maple Photography. I believe that's at 7 p.m. He thought that would be the best lighting for the summer outside where the sun wouldn't be
But here, also,
outside of City Hall.
okay.
Weather permitting, we may have to look at that.
I mentioned you already also that my husband and I, that we're going to go for a private tour to Germany in that time, but I don't have the total specifics yet listed. But also, in a way, we would very much like to join that too, or at least the opening or something like that, or a little
So
bit.
you'll be there at that same time?
At the same time, but I cannot totally say. It depends a little bit on the health of my husband now and on of the little things here. But
That's good.
we have actually planned to be there.
Okay.
So
Are they?
So you're gonna be there, do you need a place to stay there?
we'll probably stay with the Americans, probably.
Okay.
With the Americans, since we fly also with the Americans in and out. So that's probably not. Don't make an extra efforts there.
Okay, but I will at least let them know, so. they can
Yeah.
Be there for the event.
So we don't need to make any kind of like hotel reservations or anything like that?
From what they said, they will find housing
Mhm.
for us, so that was the next part. That's why I had included you in that one email to say, once I find out your plans, I would let them know your travel arrangements, so we could confirm who needed housing.
Okay,
So that should not be an issue. So, and that was why we were looking at one of the veterans in her family to maybe go, because it would have been a great, he wanted to show his grandchildren where he had been. And just, his health is kind of declined, and so is his wife's, unfortunately, so.
Were they here at a meeting?
They were.
Previously? Okay, they've been to a couple of
They were the
meetings.
older gentleman. He was stationed in Baumholder, I believe, in the 50s. I have the dates written in my desk, but not.
He's been to a couple of meetings.
He's a
so-
very nice guy. They were gonna try to find, they have a trunk of pictures, and he wanted to donate to us, and I, no, I don't want to take. But I told the wife, when things settle down, if they wanted to bring some in, I would scan some of the pictures, and we could maybe present that to them, for the.
You take a lot of pictures of pictures. It's really easy.
Yeah.
To-
So it's, so, I don't know, Carol, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to keep talking.
You're
no,
fine.
this is good. I mean, this is,
So,
yeah. this is-
With them coming here in September, they'll fly in on a Saturday. They're going to leave Germany on Saturday, and they're going to leave from Ohio on a Saturday. So really Saturdays are
Saturday,
out
Saturday.
for doing. So it's more Sunday through Friday. If we could maybe pull together some ideas of things to do, would be helpful. Some ideas that I initially had that we talked about in the Skype call was, obviously, we're gonna have an OWU day. They're coming to go to a soccer game, and they're gonna be recognized at the soccer game. So we thought maybe that would be a good day, maybe that day to take a tour of Ohio Wesleyan, maybe have lunch there, something, just,
Mhm.
and then.
Do we know what day, OWU Day is yet?
I thought that was on the Wednesday. It was on a Tuesday or Wednesday. It was in the middle of the week. Another thing we were arranging to see if possible, if we could, what we did with Sakata delegation is we took them on a private tour, the zoo. Now that was only 3 people going. This would be a bigger crowd, so I don't know if we could get all the behind the scenes, but that might be an idea.
Did we ever take them have they been to German Village when they were here before
She just said, she just whispered.
in downtown Columbus? Did you ever?
I was
Take-
not part of it when they
No,
came
we did
to
not.
the board.
Because I took Jacques, I don't remember his last name, he was chaperone for the school children. I took him down there and he really enjoyed Schiller Park. He really enjoyed going down there. They've got all these German translations of Schiller in the stones down there and so forth. And that might be an interesting thing to do.
And that is something we could even see if we could get a couple tours of some of the housing down there.
Mhm.
I have family there.
Yeah,
I'm Frankfurt, but. we've been there.
I love to go to Germany.
Well, I grew up somewhat there, so I know, well, but there's lots of places, obviously. So that's an idea. I also wondered what your consideration was, is if we did a outside of Central Ohio Day, maybe took them. Will we even mention maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Museum, Museum Hall of Fame, or Hocking Hills or something, if we had time, something to show more the state off than just this area.
Mhm.
But I don't know how you guys thought of that.
I mean, Cincinnati's got their over the Rhine area, which is kind of trendy now. So I don't know. I mean, if you just wanted to like go take them to Cincinnati or something like that. There's a German.
That's where I'm
big German
looking for
community there.
just maybe some ideas from the board that we could maybe pull together, even through email through the next couple months, for things that, it would be great if they were coming during Fair Week or something where we could really show, or like if they were here when we have our horse parade or something where you could show like how our community works. Luckily, we'll have the First Friday event.
That would be the night before they left. That would be
Yeah.
First Friday.
Yes. And that was something last time with Japan, we held a table. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in doing. If they're here, if you want to join them on part of the First Friday, that's something you guys could talk about too. If you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, I anyway wanted to ask if if it would not be wise to be also more often out there with the First Friday, to build up more the consciousness about this committee and what's going on, and to just be out there and build also a kind of an email list or a list that we can round up people easier for meetings, or when there are special invitations or special events, or Ireland or Germany presentations and other presentations, to have a little bit a pool of people, that are interested.
Along the lines of what Rita's saying, do we have like a Sister Cities Facebook presence? A page where we can put stuff out on there? I think that would bring about some of the community.
Some. I have also not done yet.
That's a great idea.
Stuff.
Okay.
You're doing Facebook. All right, I'll do Facebook.
You did it.
I don't know how to do Facebook, but I'll try.
Yeah,
Are
right.
you allowed? I mean, does it have to be through the city?
With the,
With Lee and Tom, I don't think that would be.
I know Lee has talked, I've talked to Lee about that in the past. I don't do social media myself, but I think that he would be quite happy to have something even on the city website, a link to whatever.
It's like pulling teeth to get something, Lee to put something out there.
Is it?
Let's do our own.
Okay.
They'll be up and running tonight.
Thank
I'll
you.
need pictures. So,
Well, we always have that flyer that we passed out that we could even use maybe as a cover.
I might have some from the First Friday when we did this.
yeah, and the Sakata stuff.
And we could make a couple more pictures from in here, from our meeting, when we are together. Thomas, we need you for the photographer. Okay, being a photographer. A little bit, to just give a little idea.
But I did want to let you know for the veterans photograph, we were lucky that Blue Maple Photography is going to do that for us for no cost. He's got daughters in the military, and this is kind of his way of.
Can we put him on the website or the Facebook page?
Sure. With that.
List him on the Facebook page. He's taking the picture.
So besides Hocking Hills, the zoo, I don't think it's too many to go to the zoo.
Yeah, I don't think,
Possibly
I mean, I think
Cincinnati.
obviously we could go to the zoo, it's just,
I
the
thought-
zoo was wonderful with Sakata, where they did a tour for, at no expense, and it was very behind the scenes, they got to pet koalas and see.
I got to hold a kangaroo,
Yeah.
play with the penguin.
But being a larger crowd, that could be difficult, and then I'm not sure if it's something, I guess I'm not sure the etiquette of extending that to the host families, because that makes it even larger.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
a lot of people.
So I don't want to be saying 50 people are coming to let us all in, but so I kind of want to make it more smaller. And the other thing to consider is for host families is it is a week and they may have work and stuff. So,
And I know I have to work Monday through Friday
Yeah.
because I'm going to be gone for 10 days.
I mean, they
prior
might be
to.
quite happy if we take them and to do some things during the week or whatever.
right. I mean, I know I'll try to be somewhat available.
I'll give you the week off. You can host anybody you want.
And that's also one consideration with Hocking Hills. I mean, in Germany, they have this beautiful forestry and mountains. I would probably scratch that from here, honestly.
No
I would
Hocking Hills,
scratch-
okay.
No, I would scratch that.
Well, that's why we
Because-
were talking to you, because we
Yeah,
figured you
no,
would
no,
know.
because they have that there in
Okay.
really more, also in a better way. Let's be honest about it. And I think they would be more thrilled to see other things here, more cultural things or
Well, we
historical
have-
things or Indians or
Well,
something like this.
We were hoping for Tecumseh.
We were thinking,
You know,
Tecumseh and September 2nd. There's always like the Serpent's Mound. Is that what it's called? Gosh, it's been a long time since I talked about that. But there are the caverns. There's also the caverns that are out past Marion with the
The crack in the earth.
stalagmites or whatever they're called. So there's a lot to do in Ohio. There's a lot in just our area. It's just I wanted to do something maybe a little more than just taking them to the water plant or.
Also, we found also always interesting, as a memory, this old historic prison. That is also cool one. Such a thing, within the city, this old prison. It's kind
Where,
of.
Mansfield?
No, here.
Like
Oh,
our
here.
jail.
It's
Oh,
like
here.
a jail, that's so cool, a couple of this older historic stuff,
When you had the one in Marion where they filmed Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, there you go.
Mansfield.
Mansfield.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thomas, you are coming around all the time too.
Take them on a
You could
haunted
do
ghost tour.
Malabar Farm. They have Malabar Farm. Have you been there? Louis Bromfield is the author. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall were married in his house. And it's a historical building. It's a site. And you can go and tour it. And it's exactly the way it was in the 50s. It's a huge farm. And he was really into farming. Like he tried to preserve the land. He came up, it was during the Dust Bowl was when he was alive. So he did all these experimental things in farming. It's beautiful. You been? You ever been to Malabar Farm?
I was
It's just
thinking,
set near Loudonville.
Okay.
the one nice thing that we did was the dinner. If we could do something where,
On Owu Day, have that dinner.
yeah, something to bring us together.
Is there a football game that Friday?
It'd be soccer.
Well, considering if we wanted to plan a dinner, it might be easier to do that like on a
Eastern
Sunday.
Delaware?
No,
because of
no, I
cooking.
Wesleyan.
Oh,
That's why this is
So
all
they
coming
can-
about.
okay.
Also put like again.
Kind of, are you thinking like our Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah, but
so I'm
Good dinner.
thinking that the best day for that might be that Sunday, when they first get
When they
in,
first arrive.
to allow time to cook and prepare.
and at least we'd have time to,
Because what I would assume is if they're having First Friday downtown, they're probably gonna eat it. We'll probably arrange something with the restaurants.
Well, with,
And Saturday's probably.
Wednesday, when we go to when it's a Wesleyan Day, that soccer game will probably be in the evening. We could do something in the hall there, up on that second floor like we did the other time.
With the Japanese were here.
The first time, not the
The
second.
first time, yeah, that was nice. I thought was
That way
really nice.
and more Wesleyan can plan that.
Okay.
Sunday's the only day that if the host families want to do something with them, that they're going to be able to, because the rest of the week they're going to be working unless it's evenings. So if we do something, what if if everybody went to the zoo, not behind the scenes, but I don't know, would the zoo appeal to them? Does Germany have a lot
Oh,
of
they have
zoos?
zoos too. They have zoos in all the, because it.
I mean, I think ours is really special, but I'm just a little
Yeah.
bit prejudiced.
Yeah, yeah.
But something we could do Sunday that would include the host families. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they'd want to travel anywhere Sunday. They'll probably be exhausted, like to be jumping in a car too far, so that would be a good thing that's at least close. With the, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not internationally trained, sorry, but I'm assuming you'd be tired. So, but
Well, we've heard some ideas. I mean, it would be good if we had some outline of a program before we went there, because
Oh,
probably
yes.
they'll be interested in knowing what they would.
This is
do
all
when
gonna
they
be
come.
worked out before we go.
Yeah, no, that's
Poor
great.
lady needs help.
So this is something we could work on between now and the middle of next month, say, middle of August.
yeah, so I guess if you could think of, maybe do a little research of Central Ohio activities. There is the Franklin Park Conservatory, that's very beautiful. I don't know what exhibits they might be having going on. Just anything like that that you think they might want to go to. We could just start communicating through email for right now.
And as cheesy as it sounds, I know we have malls everywhere, but I don't know. I know the Japanese really wanted to go to our malls when they came. So I don't know if that's something that the Germans will want.
They have some sort of that too. Also not in the extent like here, but they do have some areas where they have malls too, nice ones too.
We can take them.
When I was in Baltimore, there was
We
no
can take
malls.
them to Aldi here.
But
Aldi's?
even
They'll want.
You're not taking
They'll
them to
love
Aldi's.
They'll love going to
Let
Aldi.
me ask,
Easton's
But
really
maybe-
nice, it's outside.
if I ask a question to Rita and Tom, when you first came here, what were some of the things that you enjoyed that were different? Could you think of that? You don't have to answer it right now, but maybe
There are
that.
many
would be-
things you just travel around, but what I could think also for them to be interesting, that's for example Columbus, and to go to, for example, the Capitol State, to go to
The State House.
the State House, yeah. Such a thing, have maybe their tour or,
Oh, we could do
Something
Dan
like
Bennington
this.
does tours.
have there maybe
Of the
something,
The State House, yeah. Dan
Yeah.
Bennington's still doing those.
that's a good one, or
It is a
connect there
beautiful-
something.
What about,
The museum, the
do
art.
you have any
Yeah.
thoughts?
You come up?
This is more informal, but sure.
Yeah, okay.
Just come be closer.
Well, yeah, shopping malls is a good idea. I think Tango would be, be more compact with areas, let's say. Malabar Farm would be very attractive to many Germans. I've been there. It's a
Where is
beautiful place, very historic, and environmentally friendly. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland would be a good option. What else? I had some other ideas. Elaine, I can send you a list.
Yeah, I would, I mean.
And we can also give them a list of what ideas that we have.
Right.
Because that's what we did with Japan and with their delegation. And then they told us what they want to do. Like they wanted to go shopping, so we sent them
Mhm.
the link to Easton. And they told us what they wanted to do, where they wanted to eat, because they just did it on the internet.
Yeah, so we could try to set up maybe a time towards the end of next week to Skype, and that might give us time to get some ideas out to them. If that is agreeable to everybody.
Yeah.
It would be nice just to have a little check mark with some ideas.
Okay,
So, okay, great.
good. So do we need to talk any more about things to do with Baumholder? We covered everything for the time being? Okay, yeah, we'll have some excitement with them before our next meeting. Because they're leaving on the 6th, and then we have a meeting on the 9th, so we'll have a meeting right after that. So, okay, so let's move on to update on Cicada. Now, I haven't kept up with this, so I'd be interested in updating myself, so.
Go ahead, Lynn.
I've been a busy person with Sister City.
I truly appreciate it, Lily. I really appreciate it, so.
So we had a meeting recently that included Delaware City Schools and the Arts Castle and City of Delaware. We are working on the first phase. We have 2 phases of an art exchange with Sakata. The first exchange is going to be a student art exchange. They're looking at getting artwork from all different grades, and they're going to send about 40 or 50 pieces of art to the Arts Castle, and we will simultaneously be doing the same. So Jennifer Nicely, who is the guidance counselor at Dempsey, who helps coordinate their program, the exchange program, she will be helping to organize that also. That exchange is going to be scheduled in December of 2019, so we have a year to plan. What though the Art Castle would like to do is start incorporating every year when they visit to have the kids come do a class at the Arts Castle. So when those students come to be part of it. But in December of 2019, what is really neat is that is when all the 5th graders from Delaware City School comes in and does a field trip there. So every 5th grader will come and be exposed to this artwork. And then they will do a special class to the side that is based on some type of art form, Sakata. So that's kind of where we are with that. The next exchange would deal more with Ohio Wesleyan, with the Ross Art Museum for the Ken Doman. And we are not really progressing on that quite yet. It's a little bit more complicated with insurances and getting the artwork shipped here and having it insured and you know, it's a little bit more, so that's something that Erin, excuse me, her name slipped my mind. Yes, excuse me. She is going to be helping more with that because she's the professional one. So that will probably take place closer to 20, correct?
Yeah, it's very expensive to ship it. They're worried about the lighting with the skylights and what it will do to the picture. So there's just a lot of things to look over.
So that one's going to be a longer term one. The more Sakata one, the children's one, that's going to be more, I think, where we're going to get more involved with that.
Is Diane Hodges helping with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll just say that we will have arriving in August a Japanese exchange student from Sendai here who's going to be going to Buckeye Valley. So that might be sort of fun to have him here. So good. So you want to move on? You want to also tell us about the newspaper exchange?
Okay. Sure. So at our last meeting, we talked about doing a newspaper exchange with Sakata. So I have sent them a big pack of newspapers, and they outdid us, as always. So they did send us some papers. I've been working with the public library here. They're going to set up a station. They were willing to do it a couple weeks ago, but I really wanted to wait so you guys could look at their newspapers. One of the great things that they did is they translated the articles for us, which is not something I thought to do.
They can look at our pictures.
I did make sure I sent pictures of us. So this is just something I can put up here you guys can look at. So that is just something we, because there is a cost to doing the exchange. I mean, it was a little bit more than I expected with the mail. I think maybe we'll just kind of do that more quarterly.
Yeah.
And not. It was like $60.
Wow.
By the time, and gosh, it's really a pain to send something international. Like, it's just newspapers.
Did you do book rate?
I did not remember. I have the receipts.
You have to specifically ask for it. It varies on how long it's going to get there, but it's a lot cheaper.
So that is something, I don't know if you think we should reach out to some of the past people that helped translate, to maybe translate some of the articles. They were more considerate than we was. But they do speak English a lot more than we would speak Japanese.
Maybe this could be a project for some of June Kawabe's students to translate some of these articles.
And that might be something we could talk with Daryl about when he comes in. Because the only thing I could suggest is getting on Google Translate, but I would hate to cause some international crisis if I was incorrect. Because I do not Japanese.
So it'll be on display at the library?
Yes, they're gonna
So-
have an area for it. I have a lot of the little trinkets that they brought that maybe we can donate some of the littler things to kind of help display it.
So
I
you
need
put the
to-
newspaper and then the translation, the slides.
I'm gonna let them do their display. I'm not sure how they want to do it yet or how long it will run. And then I'll keep some of them too for also the Arts Castle when that happens, so they can.
Maybe also a little bit that we, that we kind of get an idea how many people are really looking at it. To get an
Well, we
estimate
can
how many
maybe do
people are
like a
interested in
sign-in
this.
book or something.
Something like this, because, if there's so much effort and money involved, you might want to, consider it further things we do, or if you go, what is this? Seriously.
And that's something too, I really think social media is your greatest asset anymore, that we could let people know that it
Yeah.
is there. So, and, we could even take some to a First Friday event if you could choose to do it. I mean, there's so many options to do it, something so easy, but yeah. So those are the papers, and I was really impressed when I was really ashamed, actually. When they sent it and I saw the translation.
Oh, well, bless their hearts.
We live and learn, right?
But they speak English. I would say so too, honestly, they speak English.
Well, they definitely do the Google Translate a lot easier. I think it's easier to type in the English than to do this.
Symbols.
Symbols, is that what they're called?
Kanji.
What is it?
Kanji.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely very beautifully complex. So that's where we are on the newspaper exchange. So it's been kind of a busy little session at my desk.
Yeah, you've been working hard.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun. It is a lot of fun, but it'd be more fun if I had a list of itinerary for when I come here completed.
She's starting to get nervous, in other words.
Okay.
Okay.
I have to say that Japan is very popular with teenagers. I mean, Kayla Rodman and Zinnia Erickson, who are Buckeye Valley students, they're just coming back from Japan right now. They spent a year there. They both speak Japanese quite well now. And we have another student from Buckeye Valley who's going to Japan, Paul Kantai. So that's a popular place for teenagers if they're willing to invest some time in learning the language. I think there's a lot of interest in Japanese manga, these Japanese comic things with young people. That seems very popular.
We've
So-
had some Japanese companies that have been looking at some of the economic development opportunities, and it's been kind of nice to know some of their customs, and
Yes, it's helped tremendously.
it's
Yeah, no,
I come here to wine and dine, and we know what to do.
Mayor
No,
Riddle's got that down pat, and they love it. So, and they like the idea of I think they're very impressed that we have a relationship with the city there.
Yeah, then we're making an effort. I think that's what it is. We're making an effort. Maybe we're not as glitzy as they are, but I think making an effort is a big thing.
The fact that we took the time to go over them means a lot to them.
Yes,
Because they figured out that Americans are just so busy compared to what they do. And
yeah, and you had a good time too.
yeah,
You had a good time, so that makes
until I
sense.
got the black eye, I had a great time.
For the record, she fell. There was no international incident.
Okay, do we want to say any more about Sakatop for the moment?
There's really not much more going on. It'll be more as we progress with the arts project. There's no upcoming visits that I know of scheduled, either direction.
Either way, no.
When did those students come back again? Is it every 2 years?
No, they come
November.
every year.
They'll be at the beginning of
Oh,
November.
they're coming in November then. Okay.
Yeah, which is a little different this year because normally they're here for Halloween and this year they won't be.
Right.
But I don't think we were planning on doing the whole thing like we did last year for
We're hoping.
like the Thanksgiving dinner and all that.
No.
That's special.
I'm really glad that, I'm very happy to have a Japanese student here with our Rotary Exchange program. Because we don't always, I mean, we might get a Japanese student like once every 6 or 7 years in Delaware, or have the chance to. So this coming year, we will have a Japanese student here, and that might be kind of fun to see how he enjoys it. He can come over to Dempsey when they're here and so forth, the kids. Okay, well, shall we move on to update on Ireland? Who would like to speak about that?
Colleen?
Ireland's gotten very popular, especially with the students at Hayes.
Yeah, I can see
There will
that.
be 2 trips next year with Hayes. One is in June. It'll be the athletes trip. And another is in for spring break. It'll be the gymnastics team. They will be working out with different teams in Ireland. We're still setting that up right now. And then they will also be going to La Hardane. And both groups will be, the student athletes though will mainly be near La Hardane. They'll be there for a couple days. They've got a great itinerary planned. They're going to be climbing Croagh Patrick. They're going to be at, it's like an adventure camp for a couple days. The parents get to stay at the spa and the kids get to stay at the hostel. They're right beside one
caves,
another.
right? No caves?
No, but Bob dives.
I'll just stay on the caves, okay?
And then I'm working with another student from OWU who is getting a group together for spring break too. And we're getting their itinerary together right now.
And where are they going? La Hardane too?
Ireland, yes, part of the trip will be La Hardane.
Nice.
Another student is getting another trip together for spring break. He's from Hayes, Zach Brockett, but his group, he's got a rugby team, so they're going to play rugby there with different clubs.
Wow. Is that 4 groups going to La Hardane?
There's several.
Several.
Any interest of them coming here?
Yeah.
I talked to them about the students coming, and it's a very difficult age for them. It would have to be elementary school, and I'm like, that's a little too young for us. So I'm trying to figure out a way or a reason why adults would come over here. So if you guys have any ideas.
Why aren't there high school students coming?
They don't have high school per se. Their school ends at 14, and then they go to college for 2 years, and then they go to university. So it's a different system. I mean, we could look at 12 to 14-year-olds for the middle school, but we'll see. Could probably do a summer exchange of some sort. We're still working on it.
Yeah, if any of the adults would like to come over just to see Delaware or just to get a little bit of perspective on our community, that would be nice too. We'd be happy to.
Like there's this, do they have a city board like we do?
Theirs is different in a way that it's a county. It's all done by the county, so they're in control of it, but they have the little cities, and we do have several that are in contact with us through La Hardane, so. La Hardane is very small.
Yeah, it might be, I was thinking it might be about the same size as Baumholder, you know, in that kind of size range. Whereas they're much smaller than we are. Sakata is much bigger than we are. You know, it's just different kind of relative size. So, but whatever, but if any people want to come over here just on a private visit or something like that, that would probably be nice.
But I would like to know also what happened to the presentation you had in mind.
For some reason, for the reason that school was ending and they had testing, and it just got to be kind of a nightmare to schedule the schools to be able to do it, so.
Because we said, you know, this is the start out and then comes the German and other things, so I'm not sure where we are right now. Or if the year's already over, because we said we want to do that more or less before the German, before we go to Germany, before, you know, Germans, the other people come over to get still some interest and to get more people.
We could do it at the beginning of the school year because they start in August.
use it in August and then maybe the German, relative shorter after it. So we get the people for German, from the Baumholder people, get their more interest and more, what we spoke, get a bit more excitement and more interest. But what's the idea?
We have to figure out how to get the interest moving forward, and get the information out to the public. So I think a big key will be Facebook, and then we'll be able to announce different activities.
Will the band be going back? Will they?
No.
Are they
Well,
like maybe
they'll be
every
in
other year?
rotation, yeah.
Facebook in the first Friday, that is also, there are so many people out there, we have been out there with the church on last first Friday. There are really so many people. You can really reach out.
Mhm.
And if we start putting together an email or just a list of emails, that would be a real blessing, a good foundation.
Well, didn't we talk
you know?
about an event, like a
Yeah,
Oktoberfest or
Yes.
a dine around or, like a,
and we did a little round robin on the email together, but I can't do it by myself.
But we would have to move relative as a fast.
Yes. We talk about these and then it gets tabled until we come back and we talk about them again and then it gets, I think we were on the right track with maybe doing a smaller group, like a fundraising group or breaking down and really, I think summer was difficult for us too because there were so many, we're doing all kinds of different things in the summer, but we really need to jump on it.
So do you guys want to do a first Friday for August?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
It's hot.
Well, we're gonna do a first Friday in October when they're here.
Well, I know, but I'm not thinking that. If we promote something in August, and then we would do the talk with the students maybe in September, although that's a month apart, unless we do it like,
Well, September is a hard month because you've got Fair Week
I know, there's so much going on in September.
and football games and.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be something. We need to really just.
do they do a First Fridays every September too? though?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
every first Friday.
Even in the winter.
August first Friday is, I believe, shop
August
with a,
3rd.
and it's like shop with a cop. So it's usually a pretty big one. It's
I think we should do one for September. I think we should do one for every first Friday. We should have,
well,
And
you
it is
guys
Valentine's
need to
Day.
enjoy First Friday as a with families.
but there's enough of us that we can
I mean,
do.
quarterly or something. I mean, winters is not usually,
Right.
it fizzles out for sure, but
I think the fact that you've got the students going back there every year and some different groups going is pretty good. I mean, the kids can look forward to that. You know, the younger children, freshmen, 8th graders can look forward possibly to going to Ireland with some school activity. That would be, I mean, that's the kind of thing you want to develop, is people looking forward when they're older to being able to do this kind of stuff.
I will say we got some pushback from the school, which kind of surprised me. They were concerned that the students had missed too many days, although some of them were back-to-back going from Ireland right to New York City. But these were like straight A students. We're not talking about, and it just,
That's crazy.
and it was just a couple of the teachers that really kind of soured it. There was also an incident at the airport, which I'm going to take credit for, even though it wasn't my fault. But the flights got mixed up. And so instead of them coming in a 2-hour window, which had been arranged initially, it ended up being 6. And so they keep throwing that back at us. And I said, we told you that this was going to be a learning experience for us. There's going to be a huge learning curve. This was a huge group. So, but they still, so now this is why we're doing the spring break and the summer, because I don't want the school to say no more. I was trying to get in with Buckeye Valley too, and the superintendent's all for it. I talked to the band director and he wants to be on a 4-year rotation, but wouldn't give me a year in which he would want to do it. So I don't have any ins other than that for them. But I can certainly talk to the superintendent again and get Buckeye Valley moving. get
Then
something
they
planned.
reached out to me with Bishop Watterson too to get the band in, and they do Florida every other year, so I don't know what he said. He just said it sounded interesting, so, that could be something down the road, but again, missing school.
Yeah.
Over that, St. Patrick's Day. It sounds great, but I don't
Well,
think
the
they're
one
gonna
big
have
thing that this isn't La Hardin, it's Killarney has a 4th of July parade and they celebrate Americans, and their parade this year was very, very lacking in
in the
the
band.
bands.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
But
that's
you've
that's
seen
an option.
Americans, we can fix that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So did you want to look at a First Friday table in August?
Yes, please.
One other suggestion, if you're thinking of it, I will say that if the students are here for Sakata for First Friday, they really loved that table that we had out. If you remember?
Mhm.
If they,
Let's do it on the nice Fridays that we have, not the winter ones, not the January, February, but let's go at least
There's
up until
August, September,
November.
October, November. Thinking you want to do all 4?
well,
We've got to get people interested in Sister
Do we
City.
want to do it over on this side? Or do we want to do it
Well, Main Street kind of dictates where you are.
Oh, do they? Okay.
And they shift as to which blocks are set down. But the
Gotcha.
earlier you get in and ask for them,
That's pretty good.
the better spots you get.
Don't you get a special spot as the city?
No.
If you smile.
well, they wanted us to be in front of City Hall.
They have a good
Venice
spot.
City, yeah.
But at that First Friday specifically, everything was on the other side, so I said I didn't want,
Didn't
Make
want
them
to
cross the street.
well, I didn't think people would cross the street enough that.
Right.
If we can, I'd love to have it in front of City Hall.
But if everything's on that other
True,
block,
true.
no one's gonna come see you.
Exactly.
And it gets
You have to
lonely.
look what where the main, where
They
most
close.
people are, and that's on the main road.
Right, like when it's the fire department, that's usually on
On
our,
this side.
on this side.
Bunch of trucks down here.
I had
Cows
both
are
of
up
them
there.
Friday, this past one, and it was very disjointed.
This end wasn't closed.
Yeah, I was walking in the middle of the street if it wasn't.
Crossed over, I don't know.
Both sides were closed, but it was it just didn't flow well. I can see why they do one side or the other. It was strange to have both sides.
But I would just say that was something I think the kids really, and even the adults, came over purposely to check out the table and check out their, what's it called, Karen?
The decoration.
The umbrella.
Oh,
Yeah,
only if
what
we
is
get that in a case.
Do you have things from Ireland to bring? Pictures you can?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so they can see how you went.
Yeah, we have a lot of Irish stuff here, like St. Patrick's
So,
Day stuff. that
I'll-
they have.
Set up
We can do the Irish
I
flag
will
and the.
register a table for the first Friday for August and then let you guys know. And then as we.
Well, you wanna
get-
ask for all 4?
Yeah.
Yes, August,
Well, you
September,
kind of do it
October.
as each month.
Well, you can just tell at your Main Street meeting you want the next 4 months. Since you're on the meeting.
You run the meeting, is that?
No, I do not. I just attend.
Is that Susie Bieber? Does she run these?
She's the executive
Yeah. So, any more comments about Ireland for the moment?
I had a quick question about adding sister cities to our list. Is La Hardin an option to adding to our, or is that something we would do? I don't know.
It's a process.
A process.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have to do some.
Maybe we need to share that with everybody. Yeah, I think we
I'll
did.
email that thing that we wrote.
Okay, either you or Elaine can.
Yeah.
Are we in the process of?
Well, we wrote up a sort of a protocol for adding new sister cities.
Yeah, I think.
So I can send that to everybody again.
Okay.
Just what sort of a process we would go through to evaluate whether this works or not. So would work for us. So, okay. If we move on then to member comments, I will just say that in the past, I had written up for this meeting an annual report of what we did the last sort of year from July 1st to June 30th. I didn't do that this time, but I will do it and give you a draft of the October meeting. So I will write an annual report for this past year. So it's been our 5th year. So time flies.
Ta-da.
Time flies. And are there other member comments?
Well, maybe that we really kind of map that out time-wise again with that presentation, and then, you know, how we do this. Because time goes so by so quickly, and first fight is one thing, but then the real presentation that we have rooms or, you know, whatever, we have to allot there too. But we can do that also via email there.
Well, Rita and I are gonna be on a committee together to get this started.
Can you reach out to some of the kids? You probably have a group email list, and find out what would be a good day to do a presentation, and then we can get to Paul Kraft to, if we want to do it again in the auditorium there, and that way we could do a flyer and know, even if we have to hand it out a couple months, you know, whether it's going to be the end of August, the beginning of September, you know, whatever, October, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Then we can also reach out better to some of the companies, you know, Japanese company or your Irish companies and like German companies and such things, to get them a little bit on board too. Yeah.
We could have them send us a message. We could put it.
Yes,
Yes,
but
we
to
could
get
do
that
that.
going, you know, time goes by so quickly. Really.
Yeah, it's just coordinating.
Yeah, we have to do the things that we can do. Have to do the things we can do.
Yeah.
And do
So,
them well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Things we can do well. We don't want to get demotivated either. You don't want to, I mean, we have to, I always think of this committee as being fun. I mean, I've had fun with this committee, and I don't want to lose kind of that feel of it. So I think that we will do more. I think I think Ireland fulfills a need that is good because it's kind of English speaking. It's slightly more easy for the students to be able to grasp onto that. Going to Germany, going to Japan is quite exotic in a way because we don't speak that language, and it's not quite as easy to interface with as I think Ireland is. So that's probably a good thing. So our next meeting is October the 9th, coming after our the visit from the people from Baumholder. So are there any other comments that people would like to make?
There is a soccer meeting is October, for Wesleyan is that Wednesday, October 3rd.
October 3rd is
Probably want to make that,
The
if you
game.
look on the calendar, that's what shows. So
What is that meeting for?
that'll be the soccer
The
game,
game.
October the 3rd, so I'm assuming we're gonna make that our Wesleyan day.
Okay.
that's a Wednesday.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I said, if you just want to provide some suggestions, take them, and then we can.
What about golf? Would they like to golf? I mean, was there a lot of golfing in Germany? I have no clue.
Not as much as here, but
I didn't see any golf courses in Baumholder. I mean, there probably are, but Baumholder is a little bit remote, kind of.
It's
not as
very
much
hilly
as
where I
here.
was.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
we have a golf course, we own one. I mean, it'd be fun to do a night one maybe. We do the
just do one, you know.
golf balls that are glow in the dark, and we do the ring around. I mean, there's fun things you can do. We can do a picnic out there and just, you know, October's a pretty time.
Yeah, it is.
Just a thought.
Maybe just do it, you know, just.
And that
Go
way
for
we
it.
could invite, maybe we do it on Sunday. and then
We can put
invite-
that on a list of options that people
You
could.
could invite all the
Pick
host
from.
families.
I don't think Rand likes that option.
I know he doesn't, I could tell, but I don't golf either. I'm just trying to think of
I
something.
used to play
But it would
golf.
be something different, you
You know, I
know.
was thinking the
in fun,
Ohio
yeah.
Historical Center. Was they done that? Did you do that? with-
I honestly I wasn't involved in the last time when they were here. I wasn't fortunate to.
Did they go
to
last
avoid.
time? The Ohio Historical Center.
Our one here?
I
She was in my picture.
No, but I think her and I talked about that.
It's really,
You've
got
also
a lot
got
of
that
history on
putt-putt
Ohio.
and the batting cages, it's always fun to watch people who have never played baseball before do batting cages.
Well, I know when Sakata was coming, we were going to give them pickleball lessons, and then the weather did not cooperate.
They would
so-
probably do very well at that. That is it's catching on big time. That's a
Can we not-
great
Bowling,
thing.
bowling might be interesting.
And we have a whole group of pickleball people that would love to.
Oh my God, they would love it.
I've never played it, I don't even know if it's.
Did you see that card? How many people signed that card, that thank you card the other day? Crazy.
Pickleball, who knew?
All right.
Okay.
So it's 7 o'clock. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
My second.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.
All right.
Meeting adjourned. Good job.
Oh, thinking that-